Hello. Hang on, I'll turn that down a bit. Let's see. Can I?
Next to Dennis, a stack of comic books from my brother's collection.
All right. I think I've got this figured out. Back on Twitch and YouTube. I'm just gonna.
Being able to work with Derek.
So, all right. Was debating on whether or not I wanted to do one on Sunday, but thought, I have the day off. What the heck?
It's as it should be.
Remembered to wear my sweater this time. Gets a little cold in the studio space in February. Let's hide that one. All right. So, thought I'd time that a little better. I was just watching History of Comics. And thought I'd get some and chat. There, I think I got everything working now. Let me just triple check. Odds are it's going to just be me, myself, and I, but I am back on both Twitch and YouTube today. Tried to print out my reference for what I was going to draw, but it did not pan out, so I thought I would go with X-Men 97 version and the Mohawk version. Get my iPad in front of me. See if I can find the reference I was going for. Thought I'd do a side profile. I'm figuring out it's a little too high. Let's bring that down a bit. I will blow that up a little bit. If there's anyone online, let me know if my lighting isn't so bad that you can actually see what I'm attempting here. Let's see. That's probably going to be the next thing I look at is the lighting of this. Which I guess simplest way for me to check is just looks a little that's not working. I will be a pro at this one day. That day is not today. This is just a basic side profile. As you can see, I'm breaking it down. I do this weird little thing with my side profiles. I will actually kind of work it like I'm working a mask just to make sure that the chin and the nose kind of sync up. What's going on here? Just had a weird issue with my phone streaming this. I don't think I left quite enough room for the mohawk. If there's anyone out there, feel free to say hi. If you feel comfortable, that is. If not, I can adjust. You know what? I should have maybe printed my reference out in color. I always do this weird thing where if I have a phone, I have a tablet in front of me, but I still, like, more often than not, print out reference on paper. That is the old in me speaking. I don't draw Storm as anywhere near as often as I should. She's a fantastic character to draw. Okay, that is showing up a little better. I will one day figure out my lighting setup here. That day is not today, however. And last time I tried to run my video and live stream something, despite in theory having a decent bandwidth for doing both, for whatever reason it wasn't letting me. Actually, that is not accurate. I know exactly why. And I'll call up more I've already made a mistake. Oh, that's a nice thing about pencils. Always fix them. I might not even actually mark in the Storm has these shaped eyebrows. If I remember the story behind that, I think Storm originally was meant to be a more feline character, which is why the late great Dave Cockrum kind of gave her these striking blue eyes and these very arched eyebrows. I'm not 100%, do not quote me. My history is questionable at best. Let's see if I have that right. When the original X-Men cartoon was out in the 90s, when I was younger, one thing I did not know at the time that thrills me now to no end is I didn't realize the cast was Canadian and operated only a couple of hours outside of my small little town. That was kind of neat. You know what? I think I lied. I think I did. Wasn't going to X that all in. I have such a non-linear way of doing things. Oh. I remember remember doing GI Robot the other night, and I did the inks first, and then I applied my markers. But I find I always have to go back with my inks again because they always seem to okay, it looks like these upper spikes are that's the other thing I haven't figured out yet. For anyone that's seen my videos, this is my microphone. I got a desktop one. I should consider getting one on an arm because I'm pretty sure every time I go to a race with this thing, all that's ever heard is all the noises I don't want heard. I am wearing this pencil right down to the nub. I will not have that one I will not have this one piece of hair cutting in front. I am not liking that jaw. If you can see this, I'm actually working with a broken down, and this happens when I use these erasers. They break, they fall apart. And I've got, usually for this kind of work, I like my kneaded eraser a little more. But I'm kind of, I have a bunch of these more latex based ones, so kind of making not a conscious resolution, but just kind of not trying to overstock my art supplies more than I need to. A lot of these were also bought to accommodate my little one in school, but there's a teacher on the campus that is allergic to latex, so can't bring them to school. Okay, so 34 minutes. So 34 minutes with 24 minutes. Have to figure out flesh tones here. No, I don't seem to have them for my I don't have enough flesh tones for Storm with my sketch and my classic markers, so I'm relying on my chows. I just remembered my upside of physically printing my because now I can figure out there is also one more stack that because I did not realize this early on, is as I was collecting the colors, I also got a set that was specific to flesh tones. And that's why I didn't, so I have a duplicate of my E57. I will have to buy I'm gonna lighten this up a little bit. Lighten up all my pencils a little bit. So this is a little bit different than, well, I guess not different, I just don't do it as much anymore. Just because my skill set is not the greatest. Markers, better than I was when I first started, but still not perfect, or great for that matter. Okay. Is there a I'll probably go in with a warmer or a darker shade a little later. Actually, you know what? While I'm thinking of it, I will get her iris here. Storm has these striking blue eyes. And then, because I have cartoonist friends that'll yell at me if I leave the iris, or I leave the whites of her eyes full on white. Apparently you tackle that with a cool gray. Since I only have this color in Chow, and I don't have a refill, I'm going to have to hope that this color does not run out. If there is anyone out there, feel free to chime in, ask questions. or just say, hey, what's up? What I should consider doing is I have these wide markers. I have a few that are empty. Once I can find myself, got myself the refill for this, make myself an E57 in wide. And I colored this in an extremely awkward way. Streaks everywhere. But on a bright note, it looks like I've had enough of the E57 to get through what I needed to get. So that is a good thing. The next thing is, yes, her collar and her earrings are under, at least on this drawing, are this lovely shade of yellow. Let's get a yellow going here. There we go. Okay, that looks, lemon yellow looks a little dull. So, there we go. This fluorescent yellow, we'll use that. Oops, why does that look more orange? And that is a little dried out. It seems to be the thing with my fluorescent markers. They always seem to move the flesh tones out of the way for a moment. See if I can get some of these. I won't even do the hair here. I'll do the costume with a cool gray. Erase most of what I have before. So I think with the hair, I'll do more neutral grays. want to shade. Probably should have done the lower shades first. Oops. And by total accident, I just realized my neutral 3 is dying out. It's creating a nice little effect. It wasn't one that I was looking to have. Okay, this is looking a little awkward, so maybe it is time for me to start working on inks. Okay, that's starting to shape up a little better. That is not looking how I wanted that to go. these. Going to get a pen for that. Here we are. Once in a while, my computer screen seizes up there. So, anyone that's still out there, anyone looking forward to X-Men 97 Season 2? Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Realize it's been a while since I've drawn Storm. I usually don't draw her with the mohawk, or particularly the Jim Lee design. The times I've drawn her, she's usually in her classic Dave Cockrum look. So this is kind of a bit of a learning curve for me. But thank you very much. Okay, it's weird if you were watching earlier, the N3 I had thought initially dried out, but I just used it again and it's fine. Now I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do for background, because the downside of Storm's Jim Lee costume is it is typically always depicted as white or silver. I can't like have like a white silver outfit, white silver hair, and a white silver background. I'll have to figure. Are you watching this, honey? Thought my wife was upstairs watching video. Yes, I will. I will absolutely add some lightning. So I'm thinking what I might do is I think I've got an idea. Um, I won't use a grayscale, but maybe I'll use like a dark blue, and add some lightning to it. I think that might be my solution, because between all I've got is grayscale and warm colors. Got a little bit of blue happening with her eyes. Very light blue. So that is a great idea. Like, I will be adding some. Okay, cool. So I think we've got a plan. You know what? Before I get too committed to my shading, how about we add the background now? Because if I have the background now and have the lightning, I might be able to figure out. Let's move these out of the way. There are days I feel like the Swedish chef when it comes to coloring. Work, work, work. Yeah, we'll do a nice dark blue background. I have some Posca pens. Start utilizing those a little more than I have been in recent months. And bear with me 1 second. I am running low on my B39. Grab another. Found it. Haha. Refill for B39. Just to kind of see where I'm. So just keep a little wastebasket here. figure out how the lightning is going to flow. Yeah, I'm not sure which way the lightning will flow first. Or from, but I'll at least get the background in, because I know the markers I have planned for the lightning will, because they're acrylic based, I can, no, not out of her, like I will use my pencil and sketch, like kind of sketch it out first. But yeah, no, not out of her nostril. That would be funny. I actually want to do something like that with Thor. Well, not have lightning come out of his nose. I still have a couple of them on VHS, but when I was a teenager in the early 90s, there was a VHS series called The Comic Book Greats, and it was Stan Lee interviewing some of the pros at the time, and they varied from like current like artists that were popular at the time, like your Todd McFarlane, Rob Liefeld, Jim Lee, and there was a few older guests like Bob Kane, Chris Claremont. Both the Ramitas were on one tape, Will Eisner, so on and so forth. And I remember the Todd McFarlane, I've yet to take this challenge, but Todd McFarlane put a challenge that it is possible to make Thor look cool by picking his nose. And I have yet to actually embark on that challenge. Yes, that's the video with them at the drawing board. That was one thing. They'd have, like, the format would always be they'd maybe spend 15, 20 minutes at a round table kind of shooting the breeze. And then a few minutes in, they get to that drawing board and start drawing. I remember being most disappointed in the Todd McFarlane videos. Oh, it'd be like I'd have to get a full board for this. The way McFarlane explained how you do it, it would be a full body pose, chest like brought out, arms tense, legs spread apart. Cape would be flowing in the wind. There'd be clouds. And one arm he'd be have that hammer clenched, and then the other hand you just see him quietly get that boogie. But I remember the Todd McFarlane videos. At the time I had them, were like I felt disappointed because all the other videos I had Todd McFarlane, Rob Liefeld, Jim Lee, and then I had them. Oh yeah, lots of Dark Shadows, lots of rendering, like that hair flowing in the wind. It'd be a lot, but in that, still have that one hand kind of picking away at that booger. But yeah, all the other artists that I've seen, and then since YouTube's come in, I've managed to actually, to some degree, watch all of them. Like watch Jim Lee draw like full fit, like bunch of full figure drawings. And I'm not going to argue quality, but like the Rob Liefeld video, he up and just flat out designed. Yeah, Will's Portaccio as well. He had that was one I seen. He put a lot of pencils. Oh, it's a difficult name to actually get right. So if you butchered it, I didn't notice. Actually, I'm gonna need that back. But yeah, they all drew like these nice, complicated things. Like how even Bob Kane actually was able to pull off drawing Batman. Because apparently Bob Kane didn't actually draw a whole heck of a lot. But the Todd McFarlane videos, he like they were all like like Pictionary drawings. And at the time, I felt like, what the heck? I'm watching a video on the guy drawing, and he's drawing stickmen. But what I did, but I got a lot, probably more in the long run, out of his video in terms of like how to lay out a pose, how to lay out a page. Like probably gave more of the construction stuff, and like 13, 14-year-old me like didn't appreciate that at the time, but as I got older, like older Derek kind of appreciated it a little more. So let's see, do I actually have my colored pencils out? I do. But yeah, they are all, I still have the copies that I don't have all of them. I'm trying to remember which ones I have, but I actually do have a working VCR to play them on. I have the Todd McFarlane, have Rob Liefeld, I have where they got together to create Overkill, and where they got together with Jim Lee and Whilce Portaccio. That one was actually the first one I ever got. That was my 8th grade graduation. So I'm just using and then I had the Jim Lee one, and I also had, I don't have this one anymore. I don't know what happened to it, but there was a compendium version that was just a few minutes, like just clips from all the other tapes. I think I loaned it to a friend, and then I never saw it back. I think, a bunch of students who standing up at front easel, flipping large pages over, talking about perspective. Maybe, I'm not sure if it's the same one you're referring to, but that was always a big thing with McFarlane. He always kind of did he always did kind of like, he did flip through a lot, because again, he didn't draw, like in the videos I've seen, he like doesn't get into a lot of detailed drawing, but he always did have a portfolio book. And he the thing that kind of caught me was when he started doing the webbing in perspective. Like if you did it the old school Marvel way, it just kind of looked like XXX. I think it was a con. Oh, you're right. There was there were 2 videos, like from the same company, where there were 2 videos that came out with McFarlane at a convention. One where he was giving like a lecture on the industry, and then there was another one where he creates a character with input from the audience, and that character never saw the light of day. But I'll have to look. When I'm done here, I'll look on because YouTube. So there's probably something of it. Are we talking? Hmm. I I think that was a lot of the artists of the era, though. Uh, if I remember my history, um, and I could very well be wrong, so don't take this as gospel. But um, printing had come a long enough way where you could actually start getting away with. Let's see if I have one in arm's reach here. I do not have my inking pens in arm's reach at the moment. Oh, poop. We're able to actually. Oh, I do. Where they were kind of. He was drawing muscles with legs and arms. I have seen a couple of videos like that. I don't know if it's the one I'm thinking about in my head, but I remember he was big because he always professed that he was never like an anatomy guy like Jim Lee or Wells Portacio. So he tended to fake it a lot, but he had a few core kind of ideas where the pec would lean into the deltoid, and lines would connect. I remember that. But I think at the time those guys were getting into comics, they were the inker like inking was steering away from the brush and kind of getting into these. I've been relearning how to do this in recent years. I sometimes do that with my comic pages just for the sake of drawing live. I ramble a lot, so I have to kind of make up for lost time in other areas, and that means using these because they dry quicker. But I think at that point, because the presses were able to pick up more of the line work, their inkers, or when they were inking themselves, they were using these to kind of hatch and cross hatch, because they were able to it was able to pick up on the press. I don't think the coloring was all the way there yet. Brave, oh, you're telling me. But I do find that inking the old school way kind of has an upside, especially with some of the comic pages I've been doing lately. I find that using like the old school India ink and the quills and the brushes, it's a nicer like on the page it shows like the black actually is very rich, um, like just this nice like deep black on the page. I'm not I probably even hesitate to call myself a novice. It's just kind of one of those things. I remember when I was taking like this kind of illustration seriously as a teenager, like as a kid, um, artists weren't toying around with these like on a page. Um, so me trying to be like, oh, there are rules. You draw comics on like big paper. You use like the pencils were simple enough. Like every instructional video on drawing when it came to pencils, it didn't like really matter. You could pick anything up from the dollar store. I've grown partial in recent years to my Blackwings. They're nice. They're not essential for drawing, but I like them. And that was the trick. I didn't grow up with a lot of where I grew up outside of Toronto. We didn't have the nearest art store is where I actually currently live, which is kind of funny because all those art stores have actually closed in recent years. We only have Michaels and Staples, so I can get I can get illustration board at Michaels. It's just like the plain Strathmore, doesn't have the borders. Um, how's that lightning look? Yeah, right now, I do enjoy. I'm currently working with Canson, my Canson pad, because this wasn't available on at my local art store, but my local bookstore had them on clearance for like $13 as opposed to the $23. So when you can get like a decent paper for a cheaper price, go for it. And yeah, that was the other thing, trying to find the paper. Oh, thank you. I might actually get in with a yellow Posca and kind of brighten that up a little bit. But thank you. Oh, thank you very much. Sorry, I don't know if you can see from here. I'll see if I can point up. I have my iPad right there, and I'm literally looking up. And it's funny, because all the art stores that I liked going to over the last 15 years, some of them are actually starting to stop selling art supplies closer to 20 years ago. But when I started going to college in the town I live in now, we had two independently run art stores that eventually turned into framing and furniture shops for some reason, stopped dealing in art supplies, and then they kind of disappeared. And then my favorite, oh, thank you. Then my next favorite chain art store closed down just right as the world was kind of getting or out of the pandemic, getting back into feeling comfortable being out in the world again. All right, so let's see. Before I commit to anything here, I'll maybe start adding a little bit of shading here. And I'm just going back over with the same thank you very much. And my setup is ever evolving. Most of the time I have, show you here, I keep a portable, usually do my portable drafting table. I don't know if you can see here on the camera, but it's usually have that up there. But a few days ago, I took all that off and just have a plain desk because I was doing some of the more technical aspect of my art, like scanning. I have a large flatbed scanner beside me that can work with large sized paper, and I was doing like scanning and all that. So the nice thing about my setup is I've got everything set up where it's actually it's surprisingly light. It is surprising. It was awkward for me, but it's oh, I don't even know if it's a real wood, but it's no, it is surprisingly light. And when I don't always feel like drawing in my studio space, which is in my basement, directly above my kitchen, I can take that upstairs to like sometimes I'll like the dining room table, set it up and just kind of draw. Um, but I've actually set up where most of my studio now is portable. The only thing that really stays on the desk is my camera mount for my camera arm, but my laptop I take upstairs with me. Going in about be 5 years in September, I had a flood. What had happened was there was a connector between my dishwasher and the water line that was defective and broke, and then decided to flood my kitchen and into my studio. So it wrecked a lot of furniture. The computer I had at this time survived. So my previous printer did not. It was slushing with water by the time the insurance company cleaned it up. Like, but yeah. So when I redesigned my studio space, I made sure that I didn't have anything super important running under, um, like where my dishwasher is, or any plumbing lines, that sort of thing. And if I do have something important, like right now, what is the shelf that is directly under my plumbing line or dishwasher is my toys. I have a decent collection of Transformers I've built up over the years. Um, I figure it would suck if I lost my toys, but those are kind of like the one thing you can kind of take to an insurance adjuster and like these toys I bought for this, but they're worth this X now to replace. When you're looking to replace technology, I found I had a bit of a runaround with my insurance company. Nothing major. I think it was stemmed more from just put all your valuables in the attic. My house doesn't have an attic. That is a downside. Do I ever draw in public? Not as much as I probably should. I usually almost always draw at home. I closest thing to public drawing is I'll draw at my day job. I say day job. More like it's shift job because I work in 12-hour shifts. But I will take I'll take a little sketchbook and a little pencil with me. Oh, nice. Um, I don't have the. I do have a G1 Optimus Prime. I don't have the original one when I was a kid, because I played with and beat the living daylights out of that. But I was able to. I did buy the toy store I was working at the time. Um, well, I haven't been an employee there for almost 20 years. I could spill the beans on this one, and I don't think America has them anymore. But I worked at Toys R Us near my where I live, and I had set aside the couple of G1 commemorative figures. One was regular Optimus Prime, the other was the Power Master Optimus Prime. And I bought that one first because it had something. It had something that the Power Master Optimus Prime I had as a kid didn't have. It had the Apex armor, or the God Bomber armor, as it was called, because 10-year-old me did not know that in Japan, that Power Master Optimus Prime was not officially an Optimus Prime. I'm not going to go over completely. But yeah, so now I bought now my goal was to set them aside in the storeroom I was working on, or work in the department I was working in. I bought one, and then life kind of got in the way, and I didn't end up buying the regular one for a little bit. And then when it came time, I didn't realize, because they were officially all out of the system and they weren't properly inventoried. Um, Mine got, like, the one I had was marked down to a penny. So I paid the penny and had to dispose of the G1 Optimus Prime. And by dispose of, meaning it is sitting proudly on my Transformer shelf with the rest of my Optimi. Is that plural for Optimus? I'm not sure. Okay, and I'm going to now, let's see. Where's my, there it is. A little bit of, I don't know if this is, I'm intending this to be rain or wind or just whatever. That. So yeah, I managed to get a 20th anniversary commemorative G1 re-release of Optimus Prime for literally 1 penny. What's amusing is we don't even have pennies in Canada anymore. Just trying to figure out. I want to do a little more shading. This is still. That was a defining moment of a lot of childhoods everywhere. No, for me it was a little more therapeutic. 1986, earlier that year, I had one of my grandparents pass away just before about a week before my 8th birthday. So, and that was a little difficult to process for me. In kind of a weird way, that movie actually did kind of help me process death and grieving a little easier. 8-year-old me couldn't articulate that, but older me, like as I got older, that was something that actually. Shading behind the ear. Yes, you are right. Shading behind the ear. But yeah, kind of a morbid story, but I will say dealing with that kind of helped me process a little better, because, you know, back in the 80s, as kids did not all right, there is something here I don't know if I like. I managed to flub a little bit the line work there. I wonder if I can fix that. Should fix a little bit. That is, okay. That only made it worse. So I think I'm going to have to think it up the incline around. Yeah, like I said, it was a bit of a weird thing. The more Watership felt that way when I saw Watership Down. I don't think I've seen Water. I don't remember seeing Watership Down. Um, I'll have to put it on my list of things to watch. Got a few new Transformers movies. There's a lot of, yeah. It's kind of weird. Some of the movies that were great for its time, and we determine if how they um, how they hold up today. I always find that the '86 Transformer movie always holds up for me. Um, it's funny, earlier on, I don't know if you were on hand, because I was enjoying the ever living daylights out of X-Men '97 when it came out. Um, I kind of I remember not long before it came out, I was able to. What do I think of those Michael? Okay, it's mm, I enjoy I didn't mind I enjoyed the first one. Um, and I'm not going to get into the kind of hater kind of aspect. But I found I liked the first one. I thought the first one was definitely hyper realistic. I will give the Bayformers movies props where it is due. The amount of stuff they were able to do with the practical effects. Um, I will say I was impressed with anything that wasn't involving the robots, like directly the robots themselves, like when it came to the explosions, when it came to lifting the background elements, like those were all practical effects, and I'll always have an appreciation for um, those practical effects. I found with each, like, one to five, like we'll say like the original, like Bay directed, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I will say with each movie kind of got a little more diminishing returns out of me. Um, I don't even own 4 or 5. Like I could have taken 1 through 3 as kind of their own kind of trilogy and been perfectly fine with that. I will say number 4. I did not like how the new Decepticons kind of like nano parts formed, but I have a bit of a soft spot for Galvatron, and I do love that after 3 movies with Hugo Weaving, no disrespect to Hugo Weaving, but for Megatron, whenever possible, the correct answer is always Frank Welker. and the last two movies did kind of bring him back. But number five, I did not much like. I didn't much care for four, but I did not much care for five at all. I enjoyed Bumblebee. Three in that context would have been, yeah, I feel like in this case, like three would have been enough. Um, Again, I still don't own four or five. I did enjoy Bumblebee. I guess that's technically like Michael Bay produced, not directed. Um, and I just got Rise of the Beasts and Transformers 1 for Christmas. And no sooner, my local sci fi channel here in Canada actually started airing Rise of the Beasts. Um, and it's a little off topic, but I actually enjoyed Transformers 1 more than I thought I would. I actually really dug that one. Um, I will say whoever was in charge of marketing of that movie should have been fired because it um, like I actually got I actually enjoyed that. Yes, it was called Transformers, like literally Transformers 1. I did actually like that. I was able to draw connections for a couple of particular episodes from the old cartoon. One being, you can catch it on YouTube, War Dawn, that had the G1 origin of Optimus Prime. And a little bit of the Quintessons, the season 3 episodes right after the movie, the old movie, Five Faces of Evil. So I was able to like pick apart, and I enjoyed it. It was fun. Like I said, I feel that the marketing team did not do that movie justice at all. All right, how are we looking here? A little. Oh, I love the design work. I did love the modification they did make to the Quintessons in the G1. The Quintessons were flat out the creators of the Transformers. I do kind of like that in this and all subsequent media, the Quintessons were just enslaved the Transformers at a particular point in time and left their actual origins a little more for interpretation. I can't speak. But yeah, no, I enjoyed Transformers 1. I wish it got a fair shake at the box office. But all right, I'm gonna add a little shading around the lips. They did, yeah. They feel like you do feel like they kind of have to change things a bit, but I found in a lot of cases like they did go a little too far with it. I also found with the Bayformers movies, they I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but they had one like anytime they introduced a new design element to the movies, like to the Bayformers movies, they milked that. I don't have my original VHS copy anymore because I never actually owned like a what you'd call a legal VHS copy of Transformers. I ended up like I'm old enough to remember when we used to not quite legally get movies, and that would require having two VCRs hooked up together. You took a tape, played on one VCR, you recorded on the other. So I had I ended up getting a dubbed copy, and I wore that down to the point where it actually like the tape actually physically broke on me at one point. That's how often I played that movie over and over again. Just one day, years later. Oh yeah. um, but yeah, I just destroyed that. Uh, like my VHS copy, which was a dubbed, and I never like out in the wild could find a VHS copy. I ended up over the years, they came out with a ported DVD, and it was just the VHS. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. No, I watched the ever living daylights out of that. But I ended up like in my early 20s found like again just a it was just a D or the VHS, and they just put it on DVD. I ended up getting that, and then when the 20th anniversary came out, I got that, and then got rid of that DVD, and then I got the 30th anniversary Blu-ray, but I still kept my 20th anniversary DVD edition. Just re or bought the 35th anniversary edition on YouTube because I like my physical media, but I also like they did. They did for the 30th anniversary. They did actually release a Blu-ray copy of the movie. I think they also released a 35th on Blu-ray. I didn't buy that one on Blu-ray uh, because apparently the reviews are. But I did buy the 35th anniversary like as a like digital only because as much as I like my physical media, I do also like my digital media because it's a lot more portable. Like physical media, I watch at home, but I also like the option of being able to not have to bring a lot of stuff with me when I'm traveling, which is nice. Kind of wish apparently Blu-ray is about to be become a dead format, and there's not like a physical media equivalent coming out. As I understand, it could be wrong, but that's how I've been reading it. Um, but I do enjoy having physical like physical media, and I do like having the Blu-ray. I kind of wish comics did that more. Here, a little bit of gloss on those lips. But I think I am going to wrap this up as I was not intending to be this long. Um, and my stomach is starting to make some noises that I hopefully haven't picked up on the mic. So getting to be a bit dinner time. So I am going to wrap this up. So there is Storm 97 style. And yeah, but thanks for chiming in and keeping me company for the last little bit. Greatly appreciated. Sorry, I'm just going to wrap this up now. So again, thank you all. Thank you very much for joining me, and definitely thanks for keeping me company this last little bit. So these are going right to YouTube and Twitch, and they'll still be there. So yeah, tell your friends I occasionally draw and ramble. Thank you, you too, my man. Have a good night, and hope to do this again very soon.